Our upbringing matters a lot. It affects us, it changes us, it molds us, it can even destroy us. What do I mean? Someone can be raised in a healthy home, everything is well put out, the parents are together, everything is their child. They grow up to be a child and they continue being a child. And as they have a system they can always go to. So as they grow up, their definition of family or support system is very different and unique. And most of them thrive very well. Or others down that path because they're not exposed to something, others flip and they go down faster because they're not experienced with a hard life. There are others who have been raised in a very hard life. One, a very dysfunctional family, a support system that doesn't exist, two parents fighting since you are born. They meet relationships that almost have the same, and some decide, you know what, that's not my path, and they move their own way. But they're very, very independent because they've been independent since they were children. And there's another one out of that same mix can choose now to say, instead of them transforming and changing from the things that they went through, they become now worse. We have another one who has been born in a world of war, of violence, specifically, let's say, war. They have grown up hearing bullets, shellings, and all that. They have grown up knowing that you can walk down a particular path and be blown. The understanding of security agencies is very different. Some out of that can grow and become better people as they work to transform their lives. Others can choose, you know what, they go down the darker path and say, you know what, they took my family, they took this, I will be vengeful. They go down that dark path. And this is where it gets very interesting because all these different people make up a community. All these different people make up families. And they say a village raises a child. From the context, look at the environment the child is under, it raises up their child. And eventually, they become part of society. So even when they are choosing leaders, they are choosing jobs, they are choosing, let's say leaders, for example, let's say political leaders, all their approach for these different people are different. From someone raised in a healthy environment, dysfunctional environment, and in an environment full of war. These three different people, each representing a community, a language, ethnicity, a race, when it comes to who they put in power, they will all approach it very, very differently because their understanding is different. From a healthy, they maybe have had so much connection that when they see security agencies, they just see another friend. The one in a dysfunction and the one who has been raised in very dangerous environments, specifically war-related, those two look at governments from a whole different perspective because they have seen no mercy. All they have seen is destruction. And so their approach is very, very different. Those two actually can switch up. They can be fine. They can have multiple personalities even with them without them noticing because they have been raised in survival mode. So their definition of healthy is very different. And so even how they'll choose leaders, those two will end up choosing almost in the same way. But the one was in a very healthy raised family, very, very different approach, very, very different setting, and very different mentality and perspective. But again, remember, they all end up where? In the same community, same society. Even when they are getting jobs, they will approach the job market in a very, very different way. But again, each one of them makes a difference. One, either they can make a positive or negative. The ones who are from a very unrest, dysfunctional, war-like environment can turn up to be the most healthy because they have really understood what it means to grow up in a very unhealthy environment. They can be the ones to raise communities, be better leaders. Remember, they were very used to independence. Or the one from a very healthy family, because they've never used to this hard type of life, they can end up making many decisions and flip. And sometimes look at drugs. I'm talking about the high end, not the knockoffs, the high end, the cocaine kind of type. You notice, look at most of the consumers on that one. Most are the high end, well put up family setup. And who's the one who sells to them? Most are the ones from the hard life. But the one from the high life doesn't take it. They know what happens. They know the danger. So you see the flip on it, how it affects society. If you come to relationship, also very interesting. Unless someone who's now from a very unhealthy environment is open-minded to meet someone from a healthy environment, then they can be able to forward and grow. And it happens, and they even become very successful. Now, the danger becomes the two who are from unhealthy meet, because now each one is a survivor. Each one is independent. It takes them to put their ego aside and say, hey, let's not be what we've seen. Few are able to patch and grow. The ones who are from two healthy environments can also thrive very well. But again, one storm can break them. So these are very different ways and systems, how they do businesses, how they raise their children. Very, very different. In my case, I'm from more or less from the totally dysfunctional one, whereby sometimes I don't like to talk about it, but in this case I will, but I don't like to talk about it because of the scars that I go through and I still have. Because from my end, we're talking very violent. I'm used to seeing fights, parents fight. I'm used to seeing abuses. I was used to seeing all manner of violence. When it comes to poverty, people see rats and run. Me, I see rats, I'm like, whatever, man. And because when I was a kid, we had many rats. Where we were living, we share one toilet with our neighbors. And our neighbors of around 10. Among the neighbors, we had thugs, we had all kinds of character. We were used to violence. I mean, some of our neighbors were literally hunted down by cops. Like one day, we were with them, next thing, they all flattened down. So they were like really dangerous people. But that's the environment. It was the environment whereby you'd hear a knock on the main door. And then on our rooftop, you'd hear a thud like, poof. When you hear that, it only means two things. Either someone went to, do excrete on top, yes, crazy, or that's someone's head. And mostly it was someone's head and the body somewhere. That would have been an innocent man going home, arrived late, and the thugs did what the thugs did. I was used to the kind of watching mob justice. That would be I even remember timing it, 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. There will always be someone being chased because of stealing. He would jump somewhere, he'd be lit up. 1997, when we had the multi-party violence that came in the country, there was two men, police officer come, place someone's head into two. My high school, I saw so much violence. I mean, we were chased by cops, shot by cops with real bullets. And. So for me, violence, and what, 2 weeks, that's nice, a week ago, I was up country. And when I got to see my old man, he was really not bothered. High, fine. And by the time I'm leaving, he's like, it doesn't care, doesn't bother. But in that whole set, even during the accident, no bother. But I was still the one holding the family together. Because now, imagine being a child and acting like an adult all through your life. So for me, my biggest challenge has been, how do I do something like take this backseat, because I'm used to that. But does that make me any different? No, I'm here talking about life issues. So I believe there's a transformation that happened in my life and the different engagements I have a cat that I love very much, chicken that I love very much. In fact, the other, like 3 weeks ago, a buddy of mine was like, hey, how's your chicken? How's your cat doing? I'm like, they are fine. Now everybody knows this guy has a cat. When during the accident, it was the grocery women who are helping me because everyone neglected me. So I would like buy bananas of 30 shillings, they put 30 on top. The thing I'm saying is, Our upbringings affects us in society, whether we like it or whether we don't. The difference becomes if you as a person are open for a transformation and changing your approach and perspective, then you can either build up a healthy family or community or be part of the dysfunctional and end up going that same dark path that you once wished you never were part of. It's all a choice. Make the best one.